Men like you are meant to be stepped on. She laughed while leaving me for an older man, so I walked away. Now he's gone. She's begging to come back, and I don't even care. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I've never been the type of guy people point to and say, "That's the life I want." I wasn't rich. I didn't drive anything flashy. My days were pretty routine. Get up early, work a steady job, save what I could, and take care of the people I cared about. Stability was my thing. Boring to some, maybe, but I always thought boring was just another word for dependable. When I met Lena, I thought she wanted that. She was ambitious, unpredictable, always chasing the next big opportunity. While I was putting in overtime hours to pay off student loans and build savings, she was freelancing, trying to break into creative work. Some months, she'd land a couple decent gigs. Other months, I was covering most of the rent. I never minded. I told myself we were a team. I'd be the solid ground while she figured out her wings. At first, she called me her rock. She'd brag to her friends about how lucky she was to have someone who always came through. But little by little, her tone shifted. "Why don't you ever do anything spontaneous?" she'd ask while scrolling through Instagram. "We never take trips. We never go anywhere fun. We're saving, Lena," I'd remind her. "You know I'm trying to build something for us. Once we get ahead, we can do all that." She'd roll her eyes. Yeah, always later with you." It wasn't just the eye rolls. She'd drop comments when her friends were around, subtle digs dressed up as jokes. "Oh, don't mind Mark," she'd laugh once when her friend was talking about a wild weekend in Miami. "He's basically a 50-year-old man trapped in a 28-year-old's body. He'd rather stay home and budget spreadsheets than live a little." Everyone laughed. I laughed too, but inside I felt that sting. Still, I brushed it off. Relationships aren't about winning every battle. I thought I was being patient, loyal, loving. Then one night, after I got home from a long shift, I found her pacing in the living room, wine glass in hand, clearly already fired up. "You know what your problem is?" she said as soon as I walked in. I set down my bag. "What's that?" "You think working hard makes you special. It doesn't. It just makes you predictable, replaceable." I blinked, tired, confused. "What are you talking about? I'm working for us. For our future." She let out a sharp laugh and shook her head. "Future? Please. Mark, men like you are meant to be stepped on. You grind, you save, you play it safe, so women like me don't have to. You're not a partner, you're a stepping stone." The words hit harder than I expected. It wasn't just an insult. It was her worldview laid bare. I stared at her, waiting for her to laugh it off, say she didn't mean it. But she looked right at me, defiant, almost smug. "So that's what you think of me?" I asked quietly. "That's what I know," she shot back. "You'll never be the guy people want. You'll always just be convenient." For a second, I felt heat rise in my chest, the urge to yell, to defend myself, to throw every sacrifice I'd made back in her face. But instead, I went still, silent. And that silence rattled her more than anything I could have said. She kept talking, filling the space, trying to get a reaction. "Oh, come on, don't act hurt. You know it's true. That's why you cling to me, because deep down, you know you'll never do better." I just looked at her, calm, unmoving. If she wanted to step on me, she was about to realize I wouldn't be around to cushion her fall. The morning after that blow-up, I half expected her to apologize. Maybe blame it on the wine, on stress, on saying something she didn't mean. Instead, she doubled down. I was making coffee when she strolled into the kitchen like nothing happened, scrolling her phone, smirking at something on the screen. "Morning," I said carefully. She didn't look up. I handed her a mug. She waved it away. "I don't drink cheap coffee anymore. Kyle showed me this place downtown. Single origin, pour over, all that. Once you've had real quality, you can't go back." "Kyle." She dropped the name casually, but the way she smiled into her phone told me enough. I didn't ask who he was. I didn't need to. I sat down at the table. "So, about last night." Finally, she looked up. Not nervous, not ashamed, just impatient. "Mark, let's not drag this out. You know what I said is true. You're not enough. Not for me." I stared at her, trying to piece together the girl I thought I knew with the one in front of me now. Not enough? After everything I've done? After everything I've given? She sighed dramatically, like I was a child asking too many questions. You don't get it. You're fine, safe, reliable. But I don't want fine. I don't want safe. I want passion. I want ambition. I want someone who can take me places. You'll find a woman who likes whatever it is you are. But that woman isn't me. I let her words hang there. Calm. Detached. Right? I said finally. So what is it you're telling me? She smirked. I'm saying you'll survive without me. And I'll be better off finding someone on my level. Someone like Kyle. There it was. I nodded once, stood up, and walked to the bedroom. She followed, irritated. Oh, come on. Don't sulk. You knew this was coming. I mean, honestly, you should be thanking me. I could have strung you along, but I'm giving you the chance to find someone who actually fits you. I opened the closet, pulled out a suitcase, and started packing. Her smugness faltered. What are you doing? Exactly what you said, I replied quietly. Finding someone who fits me. Her laugh was sharp and brittle. Oh, please. You're not going anywhere. You don't even have the guts. I folded a shirt, placed it in the suitcase, zipped it. Watch me. For the first time, she looked uneasy. Mark, don't be dramatic. We're just transitioning. You can stay here for a while, help with rent, keep things easy. We don't have to end on bad terms. I stopped, turned, and looked her dead in the eye. You call me a stepping stone, Lena. There's no coming back from that. If you think I'm going to stick around and play doormat while you climb on someone else's shoulders, you're wrong. Her face hardened. So that's it. You're just walking away? After everything I did for you? I almost laughed. Everything she did for me. The audacity was almost impressive. Instead, I closed the suitcase. Got it. If that's how you see me, there's nothing left to talk about. And with that, I walked out. No shouting. No begging. No dramatic goodbye. Just silence and the sound of the suitcase wheels on the floor. Behind me, she called out, half panicked, half angry. You'll regret this, Mark. You'll come crawling back. Men like you always do. I didn't look back. And for the first time in years, I felt free. The first few weeks after I left Lena were quiet. Too quiet. I'd gone from sharing a space with someone who filled every room with noise, her constant talking, her music, her complaints, to sitting in a small one-bedroom with nothing but the hum of the fridge and my own thoughts. Some nights, the silence felt heavier than the suitcase I had dragged out of her apartment. I'd catch myself thinking, maybe she'll call. Maybe she'll say she didn't mean it. But then I'd remember the look in her eyes when she said it. Men like you are meant to be stepped on. No, she meant it. She believed it. That thought hardened me. So I worked. I threw myself into extra hours, not because I needed the distraction, but because I wanted progress. I signed up for a gym membership, even though I hadn't touched a dumbbell in years. The first few weeks were rough. My body ached. My ego took a beating, but I kept showing up. Quiet consistency. I started cooking for myself, healthier than before. I started saving more aggressively, watching my account grow instead of shrink. Slowly, I started liking the man I saw in the mirror. Meanwhile, Lena's name came up now and then, mostly through mutual friends. I never asked, but information found its way to me anyway. Apparently, Kyle wasn't the great catch she'd made him out to be. He was flashy, sure. Nice car, trendy clothes, always the center of attention. But behind the scenes, he bounced from job to job, borrowed money he never paid back, and had a trail of exes who all told the same story. He used women until they ran out of patience or cash. Lena, of course, thought she'd be different. At first, she flaunted him all over social media. Pictures of dinners, nights out, captions about upgrading her life. The kind of indirect shots that were obviously aimed at me. I didn't react. I didn't even look most of the time. Then the tone shifted. The post stopped being couple photos and started being vague quotes about betrayal, loneliness, and knowing your worth. A friend of mine who still followed her told me Kyle had bailed after 2 months, leaving her with bills she couldn't pay. I didn't laugh. I didn't gloat. I just nodded. It figured. But karma wasn't done with her. Lena had burned through so many bridges bragging about her new level that when she fell, nobody was rushing to catch her. Friends got tired of her arrogance. Clients she used to freelance for dropped her after she missed deadlines. Even her family, who had always doted on her, started pulling back. The last I heard, she'd taken a retail job she hated just to cover rent. I'd be lying if I said I didn't feel a flicker of satisfaction hearing all that. But it wasn't joy. It wasn't revenge. It was more like confirmation. Proof that walking away in silence had been the best decision I ever made. Because while she spiraled, I was climbing. 6 months after I left, I landed a promotion at work. Not huge, but enough to make me proud. My boss congratulated me, said he admired my consistency, my focus. 2 words Lena had once used like insults. By then, the gym had become second nature. My body was stronger, leaner. People who hadn't seen me in months did double takes. For the first time in years, I felt control over my life. Not just surviving, building. And the best part? I hadn't heard a word from Lena. Not yet. But I knew it was only a matter of time. It started small. One evening, months after I'd stopped even thinking about her, I saw her name flash across my phone. Lena. Hey stranger, smiling face with smiling eyes, just checking in. I stared at it for a few seconds, then locked the screen and set the phone face down. No reply. A week later, another text. Lena. I drove by your old place today. Made me think of you. Hope you're doing okay. Still, I said nothing. Then came the call. My phone buzzed during lunch. Against my better judgment, I answered. Her voice was syrupy sweet. Mark. Finally. I was starting to think you changed your number. I almost did, I said flatly. She laughed nervously. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. I was just calling to catch up. See how you've been. I've been fine. There was a pause. She filled it quickly. You know, things weren't perfect between us, but God, life was so much easier with you. You always took care of things. I miss that. I leaned back in my chair. That's in the past, Lena. I'm not that guy anymore. Her tone tightened. So that's it. You don't even care that I've been struggling? After everything I gave you. I almost laughed, but kept my voice steady. You didn't give me anything but contempt. Don't rewrite history now. Click. I hung up. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. A month later, she showed up at my gym. I was finishing a set when I saw her lingering near the entrance, looking smaller than I remembered. Mark, she said softly, almost pleading. You look wow. You've changed. I grabbed my bag, nodded once. Lena. She followed me outside. Look, I know I messed up. Kyle was, God, he was a disaster. He used me, lied to me, left me with nothing. I see now what I had with you. You were real. You were solid. Can't we just start over? I stopped walking and looked her dead in the eye. No, Lena. You told me men like me are meant to be stepped on. That was the last time I let you define me. I've moved on. Her face twisted. So you're just going to throw away everything we had? Like it meant nothing. You threw it away, I said simply. Then I got in my car and drove off, leaving her standing there. The last time I saw Lena was at a mutual friend's engagement party. I almost didn't go. Why risk drama? But my friend insisted, and I wasn't about to let her dictate where I showed up. When I walked in, heads turned. I'd filled out, leaned down, upgraded my wardrobe. Confidence does that. It wraps around you like armor. Lena was there, sitting alone at a table, glass of wine in hand. She looked worn. Not ruined, but tired. The spark she used to flaunt had dulled into something bitter. Eventually, she spotted me. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. And, of course, she came over. Mark, she breathed. You look incredible. Thanks, I said evenly. She bit her lip, her eyes scanning me up and down. So, is there someone new? I smiled slightly. There is. Her face flickered. Jealousy, regret, anger. All at once. Mark, listen, she said quickly. I know I said horrible things. I was stupid. I thought I wanted excitement, but all I got was lies and disappointment. You were always the one who kept me grounded. You're successful now. You've changed. We could finally be what we were meant to be. I set down my drink, looked her in the eye, and let the silence hang just long enough for her to squirm. Then I said, calm and clear, no, Lena. What we were meant to be already happened. You made your choice, and I made mine. You stepped on me once. That was the last time. I've built something real, and you're not part of it. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. But no words came out. I stood, adjusted my jacket, and walked away without looking back. And just like that, she was out of my life for good. I didn't feel angry. I didn't feel triumphant. I didn't feel anything at all. She wasn't my problem anymore. She was just a lesson. Nothing more. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.